how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to part 2 of the BSG podcast rundown. In this video, we're going to be going over everything that wasn't arena related. There is a lot of information to go through here. I'm going to try and get through it as quick as I can so that this video doesn't drag out to be 20 minutes long. Hopefully I can do that. But before the video starts, I'd really appreciate if you guys could take a second to subscribe, click the like button, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of the patch and all that kind of stuff, all the new stuff that's coming out. I'd very much appreciate it. We're trying to get to 100k subs by the end of the year. That'd be very nice. And with all that being said, let's get into all of the new information we have about the upcoming patch. Wipe was confirmed for the new patch that we are getting. So there you go. Wipe is confirmed. It'll be coming soon, TM. The patch is basically ready, but they have to do some polishing and some other things before they release it. So if I had to take a guess, probably sometime within the next 2 months, we'll probably get the patch. Maybe it'll be next month. Maybe it'll be this month. I don't know. So no dates, but they are currently working on Street still. The design and environment and the art is all done, but it still needs a lot of work. They said mostly optimization, and then when it is ready, we will be getting a new teaser, and hopefully we won't have to wait too long to try out the first iteration of Streets of Tarkov. And then Nikita then went on to say that it is the most complex location in the history of video games. That is one of the wildest statements I have ever heard from BSG, but that just makes me excited to check it out even more, which is really, really cool. So yeah, most complex location in the history of video games. So ambition, definitely in this man's vocabulary. Holy shit. Now, one of the first big things that was mentioned, guys, is that there is, in fact, coming a co-op mode. So you will be able to click enable practice mode for this raid. You will be able to make it co-op, start as a group, invite your friends. So you guys can play offline raids where you don't keep anything. It'll be the same as offline raids now. You can't complete tasks. You can't take anything out with you. And you guys can practice in offline mode with your friends and your squad. Maybe practice tactics, maybe practice playing together, communication, callouts, all that other kind of stuff. Now, Nikita also said that you'll be able to start this group with up to like 11 people. So that's kind of nuts. So maybe we'll be able to make like little custom game modes more easily in co-op mode. And we'll be able to like fight against our friends and stuff like that. So that's pretty sweet. Moving on from that, we've got the G36, which was confirmed. So we've got the G36C, and then we have other variants of the G36 that were shown on the podcast. Really cool looking gun. We're finally getting the G36, which I know a lot of people really wanted to see in Tarkov. Now, the Mossberg was also showed. It has a semi-automatic mode, and it also has a pump mode. Pretty cool. So you can switch between them. The Benelli. I said Mossberg. It's the Benelli M3. My bad. Thank you for correcting me on that. My bad. They also went on to show the Lighthouse expansion. So if you guys want to see that, it's quite a long clip. I won't be able to include it here. But if you guys go to twitch.tv/BattleStateGames, bring up the latest VOD, skip into it a little bit, you will see Demirka walking around the new Lighthouse location and showing off some new stuff there. There is also a new sight. Nikita said this himself. It's kind of shit, but it's cheap. So another new cheap optic that we can use. It looks like it had quite a bit of magnification on it, as well as a 1x on top, like a little red dot. So some cheap and cheerful optic that people will be able to buy and slap on whatever gun they want to use. Nikita said there will be a big amount of new weapons for the update. They won't be showing all the weapons today. So they only showed a couple of new guns today. And then they're going to keep the rest of them secret. So when the patch launches, you know, we'll have some new guns that we'll be able to find and try out and stuff, which is pretty sweet. There's also new clothing for USEX and Bears. So USEX and Bears now have new starting clothing. And then there will also be new clothes that you can buy from Ragman in order to customize your PMC. Now, another big noteworthy thing is we are going to have 3 special slots now. So for those of you that don't know what the special slots are, we currently have 1 right now, which you can equip a compass onto your PMC and you can press a button and pull out the compass, see what direction you're facing and your numbers and all your compassy shit. It's a compass. You guys know what a compass is, okay? So basically we're going to have 2 more. The other slots can be used for rangefinders, and then the other slots will be used for radio sets in the future when they are ready to be added to the game. Now, moving on to the next new gun that they talked about, we now have the Rifle Dynamics AKRD 704, which is a 7.62x39 rifle. I have a picture of it here, right here, that I can show you guys real quick. So here it is, the new AK that is being added to the game. Looks really cool, really nice new mag. And this could potentially be a direct competitor to the Mutant. They did show it shooting and it seemed to have quite a, an accurate spray. Even while Demirka was walking whilst shooting it. So I think once we get our hands on this, maybe if it has a longer barrel, maybe we can swap out the stocks the foregrips and all that other kind of stuff, we could make this a gun that will rival the mutant. So again, moving forward with the 7.62x39 meta that EFT currently has, this gun could potentially be the new top dog, or at least tied first place with the mutant, or maybe we'll get it and it won't be as good at all and we'll all continue to run AKMs and mutants. Who knows? Moving on to more information about Lighthouse. So there will be a set of events where the Lighthouse will be closed and you will have to do certain things in order for it to open. But when it first comes out, it will be free to visit. So when the patch first comes out with the Lighthouse expansion, everybody will be able to go there and check it out and do whatever there is to do there. However, in the future, similar to Labs, when Labs first came out, Labs was free. You didn't have to do anything special to get in there. You needed a key card, or you need a key card now to visit Labs. So this is going to be a similar thing. Maybe it'll be quest locked. Maybe there'll be special items that we'll have to get to bring there to allow us to pass through the Lighthouse expansion area. But it will eventually be closed and we will have to do things in order to get access. But everybody will be able to check it out when the patch first comes out. So that's really cool. We now have a little bit more information about the flares. So flares will activate airdrops. There are many different types of flares. There is also a new thing that was shown, which is a single-use flare, which I'm assuming that we can just find around maps if you're lucky. And then you can pop that bitch, fire off a flare. A plane will fly over and drop you an airdrop. And then there is also the flare gun, which was shown before, which is going to be a multiple-use flare gun, where you can maybe bring in multiple flares, which you call in multiple airdrops. Don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So there are going to be common airdrops, which are the same as the ones that we have right now in the game. Then there will be supply crates, which they didn't really elaborate on what's going to be in there. And then they said there would be medical crates. So within the medical crates, there will be food. And then there will also be medical loot. Whether this includes up to LEDXs and stuff like that, we don't know. But there's a chance that it might have LEDXs, defibrillators, all that other kind of expensive medical loot. We'll just have to wait and see when the patch comes out. So if medical crates end up having like LEDXs and stuff like that, they will probably be the absolute most valuable flare gun shots that you can get your hands on. There are also adding light flares, green flares, and blue flares. These don't have functionality. They're just colored flares, but they will be used for quests later. So we'll have to go into a map, fire off a flare. You know, you get a quest complete. The area has been marked, and maybe they'll add more functionality for them later. We will see. They did say on the stream that the airdrops work with like network functionality or whatever. So the airdrops don't work in offline raids. Now, big piece of information here about the new bosses. So the new bosses, for the first time ever, can now visit different locations. So this is going to mean that these scab bosses are going to be hard to find. They're going to be hard to track down. So their gear sets and items will be exceptionally rare to get your hands on. So sometimes they'll be on customs, sometimes they'll be on Lighthouse. They didn't really specify it, but I'm assuming if they can go from Lighthouse to customs, they can probably go to all of the other maps too. So that's interesting. That's going to be a nightmare of a Jaeger quest, huh? Find and hunt down Big Pipe. Good luck! Also, there will be 2 more USECs and 2 new broken English bear voices. Also, when Nikita and Demirka were showing off the Lighthouse location, they did go to the new area. And if you do not have access to Lighthouse, apparently you just get landmined. So when you walk up to the Lighthouse itself, he just blew up. Now, some people in chat said they think he got grenade launched. That's entirely possible too. But it looked to me like he stepped on like a super landmine and it killed him in one shot. So, don't know. Maybe that was just a planned thing to where, you know, they were like, haha, you don't get to see inside the Lighthouse just yet. You'll have to wait for the patch. So, I guess we'll find out when the patch comes out. Also, FSR was shown. So, shout outs to AMD, all of those people that want support for FSR. I believe it'll be coming with the new patch. So, you guys can give that a try. Also, fence tasks to eliminate PMCs on your scav run. That was just the one that they showed. It was a daily task to kill like 9 PMCs on your scav runs. So this will obviously, you know, entice people to do their scav runs a lot more. And you get these daily missions from fence, which is pretty sweet. Also, huge piece of news here. For everybody who loves doing nighttime raids and everybody who loves using night visions, infrared lasers finally work. So you know that infrared laser that all the chads use where it has like the tiny little red glow coming off of it? these now work as actual lasers that you can only see when you have your night visions turned on, which is exceptionally cool. So it only took 5 years, but finally we have it. So let's not complain. Night vision apparently has been reworked. They did this in order to make the IR lights and the IR lasers work. So as far as the night visions being reworked, we didn't really get to see much more footage on that. We'll just have to wait for the patch and see how different night vision is now. Going to get onto something a little bit controversial here fairly soon. And before I say it, I don't want everybody to freak out. So this is where I'm going to talk about the offline co-op with friends. Okay. So you can play with friends offline in PvE for practice and fun. Okay. This was the thing I covered a little bit earlier. Now, this is another pretty big detail that's going to tie on to the next thing that I am about to say. These matches in offline co-op mode will be played on the BSG servers. It's not like you're going to host the game for your friends and then it's going to be like a Call of Duty style, like lobbied game back in the day where one person was the host and everybody else played off the host. They're still going to be played on the BSG servers. Now, this option will only be available for Edge of Darkness holders, meaning that if you do not have Edge of Darkness Edition, the play offline PvE with your friends in co-op mode will not be available to you. Now, they might change this in the future, but they said because of server availability, they cannot make this option available to everybody. Otherwise, it would just shit all over the servers. So unfortunately, when this first comes out, it is not going to be available to everyone. But when they do test this out and they let they let the Edge of Darkness people try it, they'll see how the server loads go, see how the testing goes. It might become available to everybody, but when it first comes out, it will exclusively be for Edge of Darkness Edition players. So I'm sorry to everybody who has a standard account up to, below the EOD edition. You will not have access to this. Hopefully, they will make it so that everybody can use it at some point in the future. I mentioned this earlier, you can spawn with up to a group size of 11. Different features and tools will be available for content creation, which is really cool. So hopefully we'll get a free cam, the ability to change the weather and stuff like that, and the lighting and all that kind of stuff, which is really sweet for all the content creators out there. I know a lot of people have been asking for that for a very long time. There will also be advanced training. So they didn't really elaborate on that, so I don't know what advanced training is, but I guess we'll have to wait and see when it comes out. Now, moving on to some other new guns that we ended up getting. The new grenade launcher is going to be very hard to obtain, and it exclusively drops from Big Pipe. It is not available on the market, and it is not available on the traders. If you guys don't know who Big Pipe is, he is one of the new scab bosses that was revealed recently. So the new grenade launcher looks pretty insane. It's really awesome, and it's going to be very expensive to run because it holds, what, 6 HE grenades. So he loaded in M381 HEs into it, but I also saw he had shotgun shells for it too, and there's probably like smokes and stuff for it as well. This next piece of info is pretty insane. So to everybody who was praying that we would get a bolt action 338, it is coming. And not only is the bolt action 338 on the way, but you can also now suppress it. You can also use this suppressor on the MK18. So now we're going to have the availability of a 338 bolt action and semi-automatic rifle that can be suppressed. Now, if I haven't heard anything else more terrifying in my past, 4 or 5 years or whatever of playing EFT. So that is going to be very fun. I'm very excited to try out the 338 bolty. I think it's going to be really, really cool. I think it's going to be a really, really fun gun to use, especially with AP rounds just one-tapping people from, 7 different maps away. I think that's going to be really cool. Also, another really cool piece of information, they're going to be adding it so that when you drop your gun on the ground now, it makes a noise when it hits the surface. And this noise changes depending on what you drop it on. So they dropped it on metal, and then they dropped it on dirt, and it made different sounds every time. So that's really sweet. So you won't be able to drop guns silently anymore. It will make a noise. They've also added new animations for moving with different weapons. Depending on the size of the weapon, you'll have different running animations. They had one guy who was running like this, one guy running like this with like an SMG kind of thing, and then running like this with like a pistol in their hand. So that's pretty cool. You'll be able to tell what people have depending on their running animations, whether they're running a big gun or a small gun. There's also new animations for like side leaning and stuff like that. And there are also new weapon operation animations whilst running. So this is while you're running and you're like reloading a gun, it's going to look a little bit different, which is pretty cool. So you'll be able to tell what people are doing from a distance as well. Also, body turning whilst running also has new animations, so it's just going to make it look much smoother and much basically better looking. Basically, that's it. That's the patch rundown. This has been one of the most insane ones as far as information is concerned. There was a lot of information in this. That's why I split it up into 2 videos, because I'm sure this video has already gone on for probably 20 minutes at this point. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If I get any more information, I will make another video on it and keep you guys all updated. Please make sure you subscribe, hit the bell and all that kind of stuff. Leave a like, let me know what you're looking forward to seeing in the future in the comments section. And guys, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all the support as usual, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out, my dudes.